SEC on CBS is on the road to Jacksonville.
You know it's time to party soon as we cross the bridge. Some folks don't like each other. That's just the way it is. We're talking about them Gators. We're talking about the chomp. We're talking about them dogs walking out to do the stomp. Lace up the boots and come on in. It's where the good times begin. Welcome to the country. Welcome to the welcome to the backwoods. This is what it's all about. We made it down from Athens, up from the swamp as well. I get a little crazy, yeah, you can never tell, but you're welcome. Yes, you're welcome. Welcome to the country.
It's time to get the party started. The party being the world's largest outdoor cocktail variety. The scene never disappoints when Georgia and Florida get together. On a sunshiny, warm day at Everbank Stadium, the renewal for the 101st or 102nd time, depending on which school you talk to. And with that, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to Jacksonville and the annual border clash between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Gators of Florida. And for the third straight year, Georgia comes in as the #1 team in the country. Well, it's an important one as we take a look at the standings. It always seems to be Georgia alone on top. The top 3 teams all control their own destiny. Florida could put themselves in the driver's seat if they can upset the Dogs. Missouri's got an off week. They play Georgia next week on CBS as part of our doubleheader. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Gary Danielson and Jenny Dell. Partner, got to tell you, I sat out on the iCruiser for about an extra hour today just to soak in the scene. This one's got a different vibe every year.
It's great action, and in here it's such great history. These two great franchises, I mean, great names, great history, great to be a part of. But there's been a lot of memorable moments, but not a lot of memorable games, mostly lopsided games. Hoping for a close one here, at least we are.
Yeah. 5 of the last 6 have been won by the Bulldogs, but the last regular season loss suffered by Georgia was right here 3 years ago. Not just us, not just the Georgia fans, not just the Florida fans, the whole college football world is concerned about Brock Bowers. The Mackey Award winner for Georgia suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago. He underwent ankle surgery, the tightrope variety. They hope that maybe he can come back by the end of the year, or maybe number 19's time at Georgia is over. So the big question is, partner, how do you replace number 19?
Well, you don't replace him with one guy, that's for sure. I mean, he's just too good a football player, maybe playing as good as Brad just told you, as anybody at any position in college football. So obviously it's going to take a group. Let's start first with his replacement, Oscar Depp. He's not caught a lot of passes, just 13, but he's been playing all year, should be receiving more. And then the change of pace. Dejon Edwards, he's smooth, he's shifty. He is the running attack. But when they throw the ball, Lad McConkey. Can anybody cover this guy one-on-one? Florida's going to have to try to do it. That's the 3 guys they're going to have to replace, if they can, Brock Bowers.
Last year, when the game was over, we talked about quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson goes to the Colts. Stetson Bennett goes to the Rams. And you go, are these 2 teams going to be in trouble quarterback-wise? Hasn't panned out that way.
You know, this is one of the interesting stories in the SEC. The questions coming in, first at Georgia, who can replace Stetson Bennett? Was Carson Beck good enough to lead this team to a championship again? And for the other side, it was almost mocked that Graham Mertz was coming in from Wisconsin. Right. But have these 2 guys produced? I don't think, maybe Jaden Daniels, but no one in this league is playing any better than these 2 guys, Carson Beck and Graham Mertz. You know, Carson's got a lot of weapons, and I think, you know, a lot of where's to go. But if Florida's going to go, I think Graham Mertz has to have his A game today.
X factor, you might ask. Well, the running game, everybody that wins the running matchup, and this one seems to win the game. But there might be something new, because the leading tackler for Florida was injured in the pregame warm-ups. The turf looks a little iffy. Let's go down with more on that and find out from Jenny.
Yeah, Brad, since the moment we walked onto this field, we realized that the field conditions did not look up to par. Now, Everbank Stadium is owned by the city of Jacksonville, not the Jaguars. So Jacksonville Bell is in charge of this field, and they resodded on Monday and Tuesday of this week. And I personally was walking around the field. Some of the seams have not taken, guys. There are patches of the field that are uneven. And during pregame warmups, you mentioned it, Florida's leading tackler, Shamar James, he looked like he planted wrong in a drill. He went down. He hobbled off the field into the locker room with the training staff. Now, he came out in pregame warmups. They're going to see what he's capable of. But, guys, this field is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Boy, they need number 6 desperately. We'll see how good he can go. Half blue and orange, half red and black. Gators and the Dogs coming up. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is presented by the U.S. Army, Sonic, Aflac, and by the Home Depot.
Right down south.
National championships on both sides in this rivalry between the Gators and the Dogs.
Right down south.
Some say it's the Georgia-Florida game. Some say it's the Florida-Georgia game. 81 degrees and sunshine. Well, I told you, sometimes they say it's a 101st meeting. Some say it's 102nd. Florida's not counting 1904. Georgia's won 5 of the last 6. There's their Mackey winning All-American tight end Brock Bowers, who made the trip. And as Jenny talked with Kirby Smart before the game, just the fact that he's here raises the confidence level of his team that has to play without him.
And for Florida, seeing him over there without a helmet on raises their confidence. He went 5 for 154. Remember the memorable moments in this game a year ago.
He had that great one where he tipped it to himself down the sideline with a long touchdown. Georgia won the toss and deferred, so they'll kick away. And Florida comes up on a short kick and takes it at the 11-yard line. And bouncing off to the outside, and a nice return out to the 35 by Trevor Etienne.